Hello, everyone. This is Lori Hargis, and today we're going to be talking about plant personalities with Carolyn Blind. Do you think plants have personalities? Well, I do for sure. I've experienced it. And have you ever heard of someone taking too much of a certain plant and it affecting their personality? So, today, Carolyn is going to talk to us about that. And she's going to be talking about the dangers of abuse. Now, I have experienced it myself as Carolyn and I were talking about this, about how I had a wonderful meditation teacher. However, she had Lyme's disease and she was using helichrysum for it. And it really affected her in the wrong way. So that's what Carolyn is going to talk to you about today, is how this can affect your personality. And Carolyn, I'm going to tell you a little bit about her before she gets going on her presentation. Carolyn, with a deep-rooted passion for natural healing and commitment to holistic wellness, Carolyn is a seasoned master herbalist, clinical aromatherapist, and a flower essence practitioner. Her journey into the world of natural healing began at Wild Rose College of Herbal Medicine, where she honed her skills and knowledge, continuing her education. Carolyn pursued studies with evolutionary herbalism, delving into the intricacies of plant energetics, alchemy, and its profound impact on human health. Additionally, her training with Joy Essence Aromatherapy and the Lori Hargis School of Aromatherapy equipped her with a comprehensive understanding of the therapeutic properties of essential oils and flower essences. With a warm and welcoming demeanor, Carolyn is dedicated to providing personalized care and empowering her clients to achieve optimal health and well-being. Through her enterprise and compassionate approach, she's earned a reputation for excellence in the field of natural healing. Whether guiding her clients on their wellness journey or conducting educational workshops, Carolyn is committed to sharing her knowledge and passion for natural healing, inspiring others to embrace a holistic approach to health and wellness. Carolyn, I am so happy to introduce you today and to share this information because as we were talking, it's just so important that people understand that using too much of a flower essence or an essential oil, especially essential oil, I think, can really have a big effect on your personality and how people are perceiving you and how you are suddenly, maybe you've turned into your personality is quite aggressive, as I was talking about with my meditation teacher, how she became more aggressive because she was overdoing it with helichrysum. And I had no idea until someone told me that was the imbalance of helichrysum. So I can't wait for you to share. I'm going to put up your slides and give it over to you now, okay?
Okay, perfect. Yeah. All right. So thank you so much for having me today. And yeah, we're going to be talking about plant personalities and the dangers of abuse. One thing that I think we need to remember is that anytime we are applying any sort of plant, ingesting it, or even inhaling it, we're actually inviting those plants to enter our energetic field. And that's how plants, they do make a profound impact on our health, emotions, spirituality, and even mental health. So that's one thing that we have to keep in mind, that anytime, even the most gentlest herbs can actually have a really dark side to them. So let's see. I'm just gonna Can't quite move it over, but there we go. So it really starts with comfort. When we go to any type of flower for help, we're looking for it to help with imbalance that we are having on a physical, mental, spiritual, or emotional level. So when we're depressed, we want to find those comfort that helps lift us out of that. When we're wound up and tight, we seek relaxants and nervines. When we're weak, we need to be built up. And there's this history um, when we start to abuse plants, we take them really out of the context that they were actually intended for. So our intent is never to actually abuse them. We want to actually utilize their healing abilities. And then when we start to get too comfortable in their presence, we start to depend on them because we're scared or afraid that the pain is going to come back. Case in point, opium poppy is one of those herbs, very fast moving. It takes root in a person in less than a day. And it was actually used in ceremonies. But once they started taking it out of the ceremonial context and they started to bring it to the population, those individuals started to see the dangerous side of the opium poppy, and they were starting to die from it. Same thing with cannabis, another fast moving herb. It takes about a week for it to get into the system. If we take it away from the context of what it was really meant for, again, another ceremonial purpose, you start to see that it actually is quite parasitic in nature. So it's really important that even though they do provide us with comfort, and they do have these loving personalities, it's so important that we use them with the right intention so that they can heal us without actually impacting us in a way. They kind of use this as conduits, some of these herbs and essential oils, to kind of put their own personalities into us, kind of like that seed that grows within us. So we have to be very careful with plants. So we're going to start with rose, particularly Bulgarian rose. So it is deeply captivating. If you've ever gone to see a rose, right, it draws you in with its sweet scent, its beautiful petals, and you almost forget that it has thorns. If you've ever tried to reach out for a rose because it looks so soft, it does have that kind of abrupt, sharp thorn to it. And so it is ready to pierce and draw blood. It's very, very intelligent. It's actually one of the more, well, all plants are intelligent, but I find roses to be highly intelligent. It's got warming and cooling properties. So in context of, warming, if you're grieving or you have sadness and depression, it helps warm the heart and cools anger. So that's what it means when they have warming, cooling properties. And quite a few essential oils you'll see have this kind of energetic balance where it's, in some parts it warms you up, other parts it will cool you down. So it moves energy down and inward and has a inner transformative properties to you. When balanced, it can give you the emotions of loving, compassionate, empathetic, gives forgiveness, softens harsh emotions. But when you start to use it too much, it actually starts to kind of give you what it was supposed to help you with, depression, gives you more grief actually and anger. But when we take it too many times, especially in the essential oils, because as you know, essential oils are way more potent than the herb itself, you start to see that it actually has a cutthroat personality. I call her the Black Widow because she's very protective of the heart, is an off with your head kind of mentality, kind of like the gal in Alice in Wonderland when they're painting the roses red. You get very possessive, you get obsessive, and you're on the verge of committing crimes of passion. So Rose has that tendency to kind of get in there, and it's the thorn part that shines through when you start to abuse it. So you're either taking it too much, and these type of individuals that this actually happens to is when people actually have a lot of trauma that has really injured their heart. And so for those individuals, we do have to be very careful about using rose with, because they will get that personality that shines through the rose, because the rose doesn't want to take any more pain in the heart, right? So it will take over the heart and do this to people. The other, yeah, here we go. Lavender. Lavender is one of those ones, you either love it or you hate it, for as far as scent wise. It's beautiful though. It's a beautiful, beautiful plant. It's used in a lot of wedding bouquets. It's got that beautiful purple blue hue. It's got that calming fragrance that kind of lingers in the air too, and it gives you that peaceful feeling. But it's actually a flower that's surprisingly a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, right? So this flower here, it's very cooling to the body. It helps with hot and irritated muscles and joints, and it helps soothe emotional irritation. And it actually provides a very deep healing and grounding on the physical and emotional levels. But again, when we start to take it too much, and I'm talking people who are diffusing it, they're applying it topically, and their intention isn't, even if the pain is gone, they'll keep applying it and they don't need to. They'll start to actually get the exhaustion and stress, a shocked feeling and hysterical and violent behavior. And that's part of that abused Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, where on one side you have a Sleeping Beauty personality who's very polite, very relaxed and calm on the exterior, but on the interior, very aggressive, with an explosive personality that can happen. They develop passive aggressive tendencies, can be backstabbing, quite manipulative. So you wouldn't expect that from this type of plant, but you can kind of see, because she takes on a lot. A lot of people will, you know, say stuff, do stuff, and it's okay, it's fine. But eventually that erupts, and because you can't really say it outward, lavender makes people mask their emotions and their feelings. So we do have to be careful with lavender here. The next one, vetiver. I love vetiver. It's actually one of my personal favorites, and I use it all the time. Probably not the best thing, and you'll see why, but it is very deeply grounding. It draws people in with its earthy fragrance, and it gives you the sense that you are rooted back in with Mother Nature. But it's kind of slothy. It's got a warming, cooling, grounding, energetic. It helps you with grief, regret, sorrow. And so it kind of gives you this joyful stability, stabilizing, anchoring feeling that you need when you're kind of out there, kind of with your energies, and it kind of brings everything back in. But again, when you overuse it, it does bring in depression, apathetic, regret, and a dour personality, kind of like where you're brooding all the time. You're just in a dark space and you're not able to get out. And the abused part is, you're getting root bound. You're in situations or relationships that you know aren't good for you, but these individuals just will not move, and they refuse to change their situations and their circumstances. And so it turns into a toxicity towards themselves, where they do know that they need to get out of there, but they're so stubborn that they will not move. And this one actually takes a long time to fix in these individuals, because root bound, once you are it tight, it's very, very difficult, and it takes a longer period of time to actually break that out, especially because it is so grounding that it takes a couple of months to kind of get out of that. And the other thing is too, this plant has a tendency to bring sloth-like and greed into the person's personality as well. They get very greedy, kind of secretive too, not necessarily lazy, but they just don't want to, they have skills and abilities, they just don't want to use them. It's kind of, they hide and hoard up their skill set, even though they could use it for good use. They just will not utilize it for any good intention. So Vetiver, it does take a long time, and we'll talk about how we can actually break these cycles here. But I have another surprising one here. Chamomile. I think we all like chamomile. It's very sweet scent, honey, apple scented. It's soothing. It's the children's remedy, even in the herb form and essential oil form, and as well as the flower essence. It's very friendly. It brings that sense of calm and joy, and its energetics are quite cooling in nature. So again, it brings down fevers. It brings down the temperature of like sore muscles and joints. It helps relax and soothe those turbulent emotions, especially temper tantrums. But again, if we use it too much, it actually flares up those temper tantrums, making people worry with anxiety and anger. And when we keep using it because you think, oh, it's going to help, the temper tantrums and this anxiety, but so people will continue to use it more and more, it actually turns into a people pleasing individual where boundaries are no longer established. They're quite eroded. They become quite naive, and they become now prey to predators. And by that, I mean, you know, because they want to see everybody in such a good positive light, they don't see the dangers that other people around them can have. So that's quite that's quite frightening as far as, you're giving it to children. You think, oh, I'm going to help you with your anger and anxiety. Too much can actually cause those, that danger signal to erode. So with all of these different personalities, how can we actually stop those from actually taking root in people? Well, I cycle the essential oils and herbs. So I use them for about 4 weeks, and then I take them off for a week, and then I go back again for 4 weeks and then off. And what this does is it stops it from taking full root effect in the body. So remember, you plant a seed and it roots. The same thing happens with essential oils. And it just stops the plant from being able to fully kind of develop in the person, so to speak. And it also allows the person to see, I don't think I need to have it anymore. I think we can actually let go of, the rose or the vetiver, and it allows them to kind of see how they do without it. For a lot of people, they don't want to get rid of certain essential oils, but by doing these 4 weeks on and 1 week off, it allows them to show or see that they are strong without certain essential oils, especially as they progress in their healing. The other one too that you can do is learning how to pair up the personalities. So for example, rose and chamomile. Rose, as we saw, very, very protective of the heart. It actually puts up a ton of boundaries, especially if it's been severely traumatized. And then the chamomile is, oh, I just love everybody. I'm going to drop all the boundaries. Rose will actually step in when you pair these two and say, we're not going to do that. But the chamomile says, well, we're not going to put up so many, boundaries and have this cutthroat personality. So they balance each other out quite nicely. And so learning how to balance out these personalities with within these essential oils, because I know we do the top, middle, and base notes. Now we have to consider the personalities of these, and in some cases, the blending with those notes helps, but there are times when you think you're blending, for example, orange. I didn't talk about orange, but I can briefly. It causes people to go into a manic state. They don't know how to calm down. They're just so out there all the time that if we pair it with, say, lime is also similar to that. It is two top notes. But even the lavender, let's say, it can still manifest as now a manipulative manic. So knowing how to kind of blend these out using the personalities certainly helps. And knowing the strengths of how fast these herbs can go into, or the essential oils can go into the body, also works too. So, the oranges, the lemons, the limes, those take root fast. Whereas something grounding like vetiver takes time, but you have to know that the vetiver and the really grounding like vetiver, benzoin, the resins are very, um, they take a very long time to get out of the system. Um, Months sometimes. And I've seen that happen with a couple clients where they were using it on their own, and it took a long, long time. So just knowing that, like the longer it takes to get into the system, the longer it takes to get out of the system as well. Yeah. And so that's the uh, personalities. I am, yeah. It's very interesting. It's a very fascinating topic, and one that I'm actually quite passionate about.
Yes, and thank you for that, Carolyn, because as I was saying, in my experience, I had never experienced that until the early 90s, right?
Mm-hmm.
With my meditation teacher, where she completely turned so defensive and sarcastic and not kind, right? Because she was overusing helichrysum. And you bring up a really great point, because I remember when you were in the flower essence course, you would take a flower essence and you would see the dark side first,
Yeah.
and then you would see the light of the flower, the lighter side of it, the
Mm-hmm.
positive side of it. So I could see how you teaching a class in this is going to be so helpful for people, because you
Mm-hmm.
really understand both sides of the plant.
Mm-hmm.
And as you say, as we're all changing energetically, because we all are constantly,
Mm-hmm.
and now much more rapidly, due to the way our solar system is working and everything now. Um, I think that this mini course that you're going to be offering in this next 3 months, you
Yeah.
said by March, and I'm
Yeah.
excited. I can't wait to take it. I think it's going to be so beneficial for people, because they're going to start understanding that there are dangers with our personality and overuse of things.
Yeah.
Because as you said, people get stuck in this.
Mm-hmm.
They believe that, oh, I need to use lavender every day.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, they're diffusing it, they're massaging it on, they're taking a bath in it, they're putting it on in a compress, they're just using it all the time. More is always better. But as we know, as you know, as an herbalist, as a flower essence practitioner, as an aromatherapist, less is always better.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and the thing is too, you saw, like with the rose, the more you take, it's like, oh, I'm starting to get depressed, right? Or I'm starting to get, like with the chamomile, I'm starting to get temper tantrums. You think by adding more of that, it would help. But that's like one of its signs. It's like, even though that is supposed to help with that, one of the signs is, oh, you're starting to get imbalanced and you're quickly going to go into that abused state.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think this is a great point too. And it's also another great point for people who have autoimmune problems.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because with your autoimmune clients, you can't be using the oil for too long, because then their immune system says this is a danger, right? Like what
Yeah.
you're saying,
Yeah.
it's a danger. So they can't abuse essential oils, like they can't take them as long as you and I can,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And so I think there's even more to this, like you're saying, if we look at the autoimmune part of it
Mm-hmm.
too.
Yeah.
And we have so many people who have autoimmune now,
Yeah.
and they don't understand why they're not getting better, if unless they understood that they need to take a break
Yeah. Yeah.
and let their immune system do what it's supposed to do. And
Yeah.
I think that because people are involved, we've gotten so involved in the pharmaceutical world that we don't understand moderation.
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Yeah.
And then this is where all the addictive behaviors happen.
Mm-hmm.
And we have so much addictive behavior nowadays because we have such huge access to things.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, like you're saying, with children, there's so many people that are giving their children very strong, powerful essential oils like oregano by the time they're, a year old. And so I've always tried to convince people is take things less, gentler,
Mm-hmm.
and let you have an immune system. You were born with an immune system. Your ancestors all had immune systems. That's why you're here today.
Yeah.
Let it do its work, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, this has been so wonderful. I just want to thank you. And I want to I'm going to take myself down here real quick. And oops, I'm going to add myself to the stage here again, because I'm not understanding why it's not allowing me to. Oh, now I see. Here we go.
There we go.
Okay, so I want you guys to be able to contact Carolyn. Here's her information. She has a beautiful website. She also has a newsletter that she sends out once a month that I always read and enjoy so much. She gives fantastic recipes. And you can check her out on Instagram and on her site. And would you like to tell us a little bit more about what else you do and when, this mini course? I'm excited.
Yeah, so the mini course is going to come out in March. That's definitely coming out. This year, I'm going to be doing quite a few changes, actually. I'm changing up the website. I'm going to be doing a lot more recipes. I do have also a cooking background, and I'm getting my holistic nutrition certificate as well. So a lot of recipes will be coming out with that one as well. So yeah, a lot of changes are coming. I'm very excited for them. And yeah, newsletters are going to be upgraded too here soon.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah.
That is great.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that. I just
Yeah.
love getting it every month. And I've taken one of your mini courses. It was great. And I can't wait to be in this one.
Yes,
And
me
this
too.
is just, I mean, people really need to understand this. And it's a perfect time for it to come out, Carolyn.
Yeah, thank
And
you.
I want to thank you so much for being a Common Sense community member, being in our Common Sense. And Carolyn is our honored Common Sense community member of January 2026. So thank you so much for being with us. And what we'll do is below in the description, we'll put Carolyn's information so you guys can contact her directly, get on her email list, and then take her mini course
Yes.
on plant personalities and the dangers of abuse. Thank you so much, Carolyn.
Thank you so much. Thank you.